Hey, you already know what time it is. Adoniyah 720 Reacts is back with another one. Guess what? I'll be reacting to the mighty versus the poor, lie versus the truth. In this video, we'll be discussing the recent court case about deceased pastor Ricky Floyd. He was unalived after a conversation in an argument with somebody over religion. You know what I'm saying? So, and now they got the female in court, you know what I'm saying? And then charged her with murder and all that stuff. But anyhow, y'all already know how I get down. I got the foundational scriptures for this. Let's get straight into this video.
Pastor Ricky Floyd will remain out on bond as she awaits a decision whether her case will go to trial. Good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joy Redmond.
This is video one of two.
The woman's name, Samantha Marian. She appeared in Shelby County for a preliminary court hearing today, and Action News 5's Sidney Gray was inside the courtroom as a witness shared his account of what happened on that fateful night. Sidney, what did you learn in court today?
Hey there, Joe. Good evening. Well, we heard from the first responding officer who was on scene the night that Pastor Floyd was killed. Now, he testified about the inconsistencies that he says he saw in Marian's story the night that all of this happened. However, Marian's attorney says that he had issues with that officer's affidavit.
I need someone immediately. Someone has been shot. He is down. He is on the ground.
That's the 911 call Samantha Marian made moments after shooting Pastor Ricky Floyd.
Listening to it definitely brought me closer into the space, you know, where the things happened and how the things happened. So, yeah, it was tough to listen to.
Marian appeared in Shelby County Court for her preliminary hearing as the state presented evidence.
They have a burden to try to establish probable cause, and that's all that this hearing was about. We're trying to see what their affidavit was saying versus what the facts show.
Officer Cordell Boyd was the state's only witness to take the stand. He described that night as a chaotic scene.
She was basically mumbling like, "Lord help," something like that, and then I asked the question.
The lady was nervous.
Where's the shooter? And she said it was me.
He then said she provided her account of what happened.
The first time when the victim approached her, she went to the car and armed herself. She told me that she put the gun behind her back. She had the gun behind her back. She said several times that in the exchange that the victim kept approaching her and she kept telling
he running down on her.
And then there was the last time where she said she then used her hand, took the gun off safety, and then the last time telling the victim to back back, she reached forward and accidentally fired a shot.
But Officer Boyd says there were inconsistencies, citing if Marian felt threatened enough to go to her vehicle for a gun, she could have left. Her attorney, though, pushed back.
According to the testimony that was rendered, you had a person who had the opportunity to leave, didn't leave. You had him indicating that there were certain things left out of the affidavit that were important, that the gentleman had knocked down at least one person and had a second altercation with another intervening person. So those are things that we were trying to find out for sure. And, you know, they weren't put in the affidavit.
Representative.
Whoa. So basically they took out stuff and they excluded things that was supposed to be inside the affidavit. So y'all already know we're going to go with this one. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 23, verses 1 through 3. Verse 1 states, "You must not carry false rumors. You shall not join hands with the guilty to act as a malicious witness." And that's what that police that got on the stand said. He was the first responder. Him questioning her and she didn't say the right thing. So we already see right now, you know what I'm saying, he running with false rumors, you know what I'm saying, because it's some things that y'all don't know about this deceased pastor Ricky Floyd, you know what I'm saying, because he is also a 33rd degree Prince Hall Mason. But let's finish these scriptures. "You shall neither side with the mighty to do wrong. You shall not give perverse testimony in a dispute so as to pervert it in the favor of the mighty. Nor shall you show deference to a poor man in his dispute." And right now, they're showing indifference to this system, you know what I'm saying? Even though this sister was protecting herself, you know what I'm saying? We clearly see anybody jump out that truck, you know what I'm saying, to run down on like he's gonna do something. But this is video 1 of 2 that I'm gonna show. Video 2 gonna show a little bit more, but let's finish the rest of the scriptures. We'll be going down to Exodus chapter 23. We're finna move down to 6 through 7. This message is to the officer, what I'm finna say. You shall not subvert the rights of your needy in their disputes. So right now, you finna twist everything up to go in the favor of the deceased pastor, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I say, they're all in cahoots. He a 33rd degree Prince Hall Mason. So y'all already know how it's gonna go. Verse 7. Keep far from a false charge. Do not bring death on those who are innocent and in the right, for I will not acquit the wrongdoer. You see what I'm saying? So before the end of this case I know this dude, you know what I'm saying, this officer that gave that testimony, he gonna get exposed, man, because he ain't keeping it real. And also they got video proof, you know what I'm saying, of this situation. I ain't gonna hold up with all this talking. Let's get back in this video, y'all.
Antonio Parkinson says Pastor Floyd was his closest friend. He says everyone's lives would be different had both parties walked away.
A lot of these individuals that are here because their emotions got out of, their emotions got the best of them. Right. A lot of them are here because resolution conflicts couldn't be resolved.
Right.
A new charge for the woman accused of shooting and killing prominent Memphis pastor Ricky Floyd earlier this year. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Stephanie Skurlock. Samantha Marian now faces a second-degree murder charge following her indictment last week. WREG's April Thompson has reaction to the charge and what's next in the case.
Samantha Marian now facing a second-degree murder charge. This indictment showing a grand jury found Marian unlawfully and knowingly killed prominent Memphis pastor Ricky Floyd back in March outside Mama's Bar and Kitchen, where the two apparently got into an argument over religion.
Pause, y'all see? These people get in a full-blown debate over religion. It's crazy. So as you see, this deceased pastor probably was trying to proselytize this lady, you know what I'm saying, and force, you know what I'm saying, that JC religion, that Christian religion on this lady, and she was probably wasn't trying to hear it, you know what I'm saying. They probably going back and forth, what ain't real, what is fake, I already know how it go. And I guess, that deceased pastor probably got mad, start saying all kind of stuff out of his mouth. Well, let's get to this video and see what it say.
Pastor Earl Fisher was a friend of Pastor Floyd's.
So if this is a step in the direction of figuring out what exactly happened and what level of accountability and responsibility certain parties need to adhere to, then I would have to be here for that in the name of Ricky D. Floyd and all of those who love him.
WREG reached out to the Special District Attorney's Office in Nashville, now handling the case. They say Marian will...
Why I gotta be a special prosecution to do this case? This should be a regular case. You see what I'm saying? But y'all, like I say, y'all gotta catch on. This deceased pastor, Ricky Floyd, is a 33rd degree Prince Hall Mason. So y'all should already see why they fighting so hard for him.
Next have another bond hearing on these new charges. Pastor Floyd was known for his community involvement and longtime work, especially in Frazier. But Marian's attorneys say something else happened that night. They sat down with WREG to show us a video recorded by Samantha Marian the night of the shooting. It shows Pastor Floyd approaching her as she tells him to back off.
I'm backing back 3 times now. When I do that, please back the
Y'all see this, man. Y'all just seen this. I know y'all see this man on the screen right now, how he moving right now. So basically, you know what I'm saying, he just ran down on her. So I guess he in his feelings about this conversation. Y'all, let's get to Proverbs chapter 22. We're finna go to verses 24 and 25. It states, do not associate with a irascible man. And guess what? That deceased pastor that's on the screen right now, he's an irascible man. Y'all seen he jumped out of that truck, he got to pull his pants up. So obviously he had to be sagging. And that's crazy. But as you see the look on his face, he jumped out his vehicle. Clearly, as y'all see him riding off to approach her again to do this. So he probably got in her vehicle after she went and retrieved the gun. You see what I'm saying? So after she retrieved the gun, he get in his vehicle and finna ride off. So he probably felt like, oh, you going to get that? Think I'm scared of that? He jumped out that mud and tried to do something, and it happened to him. Let's finish the rest of the scripture. Do not associate with an irascible man, or go about with one who is hot-tempered. This deceased pastor right here, he's very hot-tempered. Verse 25. Lest you learn his ways and find yourself ensnared. And that sister found herself ensnared, you know what I'm saying? Because she pulled that trigger on buddy. Because he ran down her and tried to harm her.
Back. Samantha Marian's attorneys say the video shows aggression on the part of Pastor Ricky Floyd. And they say Samantha Marian didn't know what he was going to do.
Pause. So here we go again. That video show it. We're going to go to Leviticus chapter 19, verses 15 through 18. Verse 15. You shall not render an unfair decision. Do not favor the poor or show difference to the rich. Judge your kinsmen fairly. Do not deal basely with your countrymen. And that sister and that pastor, they brothers and sisters regardless, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all Israelites. And y'all ain't supposed to be going through this, you know what I'm saying? So y'all supposed to do this peaceably, but, you know, they going to show sides with the mighty, you know what I'm saying? Because, like I said again, he's a third degree. That's all Mason. Do not deal basely with your countrymen. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I am Yah. Verse 17. You shall not hate your kinfolk in your heart. For him to jump out that truck and run down like that, he had to have all kind of ill will and hate. After that conversation, after she told him, I'm not going to believe what you believe, he jumped out there. And guess what? Bang, bang, bang. He hit him. Reprove your kinsmen, but incur no guilt because of him. You see what I'm saying? They should have just chalked that up. Hey, sister, know what I'm saying? You dead wrong. She should have said, bro, know what I'm saying? You dead wrong. They should have just shook hands, just left, you know what I'm saying? But instead, it turned into something big because he got in his feelings. Verse 18, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your countrymen. Love your fellow as yourself. I am Yah. You see what I'm saying? He didn't love her, you know what I'm saying? He didn't love himself. And like I said, he supposed to be a pillar of the community and all this stuff right here. But you still jumped out the truck and showed your behind. You deserve that.
Whatever triggered him, he was upset with Mrs. Marian. He fought through two individuals to get to her. And watching him storm from the vehicle and approach her, it was clear that his intentions was definitely not to give her a hug and say, hey, let's work this out. But he had aggression in his heart and in his mind.
WREG reached out to the family of Pastor Floyd, but they declined to comment. Pastor Fisher hopes everyone moves away from the spin that Marian and Floyd knew each other. Her attorneys say they did not and moved toward the facts.
Let's run that back
They
again.
declined to comment. Pastor Fisher hopes everyone moves away from the spin that Marian and Floyd knew each other. Her attorneys say they did not and moved toward the facts.
Know each other.
And giving us the concrete nature of who should be held accountable for what happened and to what degree they should be held accountable.
Reporting for your news leader in Memphis, April Thompson, WREG, News Channel 3.
In addition to second-degree murder, Samantha Marian also faces a charge of employing a firearm during the commission of a dangerous felony and reckless endangerment with the deadly weapon.
Dang, they just piled up them charges on that girl, man. But anyhow, let's get to Proverbs chapter 29, verses 20 and verses 22. Verse 20. If you see a man hasty in speech, there is more hope for a fool than him. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? She seen that he was hasty in speech, wanted to argue with her and want to do all this stuff to her, so she should have got up and left for real. She wouldn't have found herself in this situation and wouldn't have to do buddy in, but she should have just, you know what I'm saying, seeing how the situation was going. If he going back and forth and screaming and hollering up, man, he should have jumped up, left. She should have jumped up and left. But guess what? None of them didn't think straight. They had the alcohol in their system. Let's get to verse 22. An angry man provokes a quarrel. And guess what? He was angry. She was angry. He angry because she don't want to listen about JC. And she angry because, you know what I'm saying, she probably telling him, no, I'm not believing that. I probably believe African spirituality. I'm just saying, but I don't know what she believed, but she probably said this, probably said that. And, you know, like I said, they probably started saying cuss words at each other, all kind of stuff. But, and it got, like I say, it got out of hand. It say a hot-tempered man commits many offenses. And guess what? That act of violence that he wanted to do on her when he jumped out that truck, you know what I'm saying? It ended in result to his death, you know. But guess what? We're going to end this, you know what I'm saying, at Proverbs chapter 31, verse 8. It states, speak up for the dumb, for the rights of all the unfortunate. Speak up, judge righteously, champion the poor and the needy. And guess what? Excuse me. It's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, is speaking up for this deceased pastor, you know what I'm saying he was a good person, a pillar of the community and all this stuff right here. But we already know, you know what I'm saying, he swore an oath, you know what I'm saying, with the Prince Hall Masons, as y'all see on the screen. So y'all already know how this is gonna end. But at the end of the day, she should have just paid attention to the signs of the red flags in the argument and should have just left. He should have just left. So at the end of the day, both parties lost. But this concludes, you know what I'm saying, the mighty versus the poor, lie versus the truth. Shalom, Barakah.